At the US PGA Championship, an Australian golfer Cameron Smith's errant tee shot soared into an adjacent hole on a windy day at Southern Hills and struck his American rival Aaron Wise square on the right side of his head. Wise, the world number 91, claimed he was sore, but we're pretty sure a shot like that is going to leave a mark. First up, how it happened. Wise was bending down in the rough at the 7th hole to assess the lie of his ball when Smith blasted a tee shot at the adjacent 2nd hole, and unfortunately also in Cameron Smith's direction. The ball cracked a drive and soared way to the right, pushed that way by a prevailing wind on a gusty day. Smith yelled "Fore" to warn of a shot going off target, but unfortunately, at 300 yards away, and with the wind strength back towards the Australian golfer, Wise didn't hear the warning while he was standing at the 7th hole. Smith's ball ended up striking Wise on the right side of his head, leaving a mark on his hat, and by the looks of it, maybe a dent in his skull too. Next, Wise was taken off guard but managed to pull through. Wise told the Golf Channel that all he remembers is being surprised that his ball wasn't in the fairway. Next thing he knew, there was a little bit of ringing in his head, and he was down on the fairway. The American pro golfer added that after the sudden blow to his head, there was a lot of adrenaline in his body, but he tried his best to calm his nerves down so he could get back to feeling somewhat normal for the last few holes. American pro golfer and playing partner of Wise, Joel Dahmen, described the strike as a glancing blow that sent Smith's ball almost a good 40 to 50 yards further down the adjacent fairway. Wise claimed he felt fine, but after a sudden blow like that to the head, one thing's for sure, he was definitely a little shaken getting into the next shot. The golfer took time on the ground to get settled before moving on. Dahmen added that the impact of the golf ball hitting poor Aaron Wise's head was so loud, all the spectators heard it. Now, the aftermath of Wise's stray golf ball injury. At the time of the injury, Wise took a water bottle from a nearby rule official, put it on his head, and made his way back onto the greens. The American pro golfer eventually sent his second shot into the rough, towards the right side of the fairway, but chipped just outside 5 feet of the cup, making his putt for a remarkable par, especially considering his injury. To Wise's credit, he saved par at the 7th. The back nine starter also parred on the 8th hole and finished his round with a bogey for a 2-over par 72, leaving him on 1-over, 141 after 36 holes. Even though Aaron rested after the round, he did still end up having to visit the medical tent to get treatment for his head. When the clearly headstrong golfer emerged, he declared himself all right, and to his credit, he did look like he was okay. Meanwhile, Smith had a line through the trees to return to the 2nd hole and went on to make par. What made the Aaron Wise and Cameron Smith exchange a bit more awkward was the fact that Smith had pretty much no idea what happened until after his round was over. Smith was asked about the incident when he was being interviewed by Golf Channel's Todd Lewis. The Australian pro golfer presented an apology, accompanied by a look of genuine shock, and said that it was the first time he was hearing about it. Apparently, he had no idea, and no one had told him what happened either. Aaron Wise wasn't the only victim of a wayward shot at the PGA. According to a report from JeffShackelford.com, John Ram pulled a tee shot, which unfortunately hit ESPN host Sage Steele, who was in Tulsa covering the PGA Championship for SportsCenter. While at the par 4 3rd hole, Ram badly hooked his tee shot and immediately screamed "Fore left" as a warning, but it was too late. The poor TV anchor was taking a break from work, standing underneath a tree in the left rough, when Ram's ball hit her square in the face. An eyewitness told Shackelford that they saw Steele on the ground, holding her nose and mouth, and her hands were covered in blood. Even after such a severe injury, Steele walked off the course, unaided and on her own power. There's a video of the Ram tee shot on Twitter that seems to confirm the eyewitness's claim. It shows the Spanish pro golfer's ball hitting a woman in the face. The woman in the video uncannily matched Steele's description and could be seen going from standing to squatting and then clutching her face as an obvious result of the golf ball's impact. Just like Cameron Wise, Ram didn't seem to notice either that anyone got hit by his drive in real time. Routing at Southern Hills Golf Course is a bit tricky. Ryan Harrington from Golf Digest reported from the grounds that the 18-hole course, measuring over 6,300 yards, isn't easy to maneuver, what with a number of tee boxes and greens crisscrossing with one another. Players teeing off would have to wait for certain greens to clear and vice versa, and that would lead to slow play. But so far, that hasn't been as big of a problem as spectators and players getting hit with golf balls. Of course, neither of these incidents happened on one of the tee boxes or greens that cross with one another. They're more likely to be two freak accidents, and something that we hopefully won't be seeing a third edition of anytime soon. Now, in other news, the double life of 15-year-old golfer Ratchanan Chantananawat. Ratchanan TK Chantananawat, like most 15-year-olds, is concerned with school, exams, and college plans. But unlike most kids his age, Ratchanan is already a record-breaking amateur golfer, competing against some of the game's best professionals. He made international headlines in April, 5 weeks after his 15th birthday, when he became the youngest male player to win on a major tour, winning the $750,000 Trust Golf Asian Mixed Cup in his native Thailand. Ratchanan is studying for important biology and economics exams this month, in addition to representing his country at the 31st Southeast Asian Games in Vietnam. It's a balancing act of daunting proportions, but the 15-year-old has a point to prove, and up till now, he's somehow managed to appear unfazed. Next, Scottie Scheffler is one of the 8 first-round leaders of the Charles Schwab Challenge. Scottie Scheffler was one of 8 players in the first round of the Charles Schwab Challenge in Fort Worth to manage, shooting a 4-under par 66. Rebounding from missing the cut at the PGA Championship, which was his first missed cut since October, Scheffler made a comeback with a bogey-free round. The Masters champion had started his day on the back 9 and managed to make 3 of his 4 birdies between the 14th and 18th holes. The world number 1 ended up tied for the lead with Patrick Reed, Webb Simpson, Harold Varner III, Chris Kirk, Beau Hossler, Canadian Nick Taylor, and Australian Cam Davis at the Colonial Country Club. Scheffler was the only co-leader to avoid a bogey on his card, while Reed, a 9-time PGA Tour winner and 2018 Masters champ, compiled 5 birdies before one misstep on his final hole, along with a par 4 9th. He overshot the green, which led to a bogey after a poor chip coming back. Is Tom Brady's drone-captured golf shot real? Tom Brady is better known for throwing perfect spirals than his perfect approach shots, but there seems no limit to the American football quarterback's sporting talents. Enjoying yet another NFL offseason, the 7-time Super Bowl winning quarterback showcased his golfing skills in a golfing Hail Mary captured in mesmerizing fashion by a drone. In a video shared by Brady on Twitter, he appeared to find the bottom of the cup from way out on the fairway. The drone can be seen following the 44-year-old's swing, seamlessly tracking and speeding along the ball as it arced onto the green and into the par 4 hole. Though he was quick to clarify that it wasn't a hole-in-one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback reflected on a once-in-a-lifetime shot, as well as the opportunity to get creative on social media. The footage has sparked much online debate about whether the shot was genuine or guided into the hole by the wonders of visual effects, with Trent Taylor of the Cincinnati Bengals among those who are skeptical. The footage will have been ominous viewing for Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs and Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills, who will face Brady and Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers in the highly anticipated all-quarterback edition of the match next week. Stray shots are an unintended result of any golf tournament, and there's always a possibility of marshals, fans, or even players getting hit during a game. Thankfully, when such cases happen, they usually aren't too serious. A bruised arm or leg is the normal result, followed by an apology and a signed golf glove. But in Aaron Wise's case, it was a pretty solid strike. Let's hope we don't see any more injuries like this on the course anytime soon. That's a wrap for this video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.